Yeah, but he's definitely going like if creative people and founders, they need to work on a variety of different things, otherwise they get bored. Like,
Joel, what do you know about Sam Altman and all this drama slash crap that's happened over the last couple of weeks with OpenAI
all
and
right,
the board of directors?
as an uneducated person, here's what has come across my view. He got fired. Everybody freaked out. Microsoft hired him. Everybody was still freaking out. And OpenAI hired him back. But they said that they fired him because he was out busy like raising money for other business ventures. And here's what I think actually happened. I think there was just some weird stuff going on at the company between them, like some personal stuff, and it just kind of got out of control. I mean, we're expecting them to create life-changing technology and go from zero to billions of dollars of net worth and like not be corrupt and not be weird and be completely truthful and honest while, we don't know their moral structures, right? We don't know any of that about them. We don't know how they make decisions on these things, and yet we're handing them just this ridiculous amount of power. Of course things are going to go wrong. Of course they're going to backstab each other. It's going to be like a telenovela, but with AI.
Wow. Wait, so they hired him back.
Yeah, that's the last headline I read. Remember, all of us get 80% of our information on how we make decisions and talk about every day through headlines from writers we don't know about people we don't know.
True.
Which is kind of weird, but it's what happens.
So can you explain to me? There's a board of directors, right? And there's Sam Altman, who's the CEO, who started the company. Why do they have the power to just kick him out? I mean, does he just sign that over to them? And like, why?
Yeah, so most people think that the CEO runs the company, and that's true some of the time. But you can best think about a CEO as an employee for the board of directors everywhere. It's like whether it's Verizon CEO or whoever, they're like the public figurehead employee, where the board of directors is the people behind it that make the decisions. So like you have every corporation set up differently, but you'll have board seats. There'll be a certain number of board seats. Let's say there's 8. And then there will be rules of how things operate. So you might say, to do this specific type of action, we just need a majority, which is 5 out of 8, right? And then so they'll do a board meeting, they'll vote, and if 5 out of 8 vote, and typically then it happens, right? That's just how it's called the bylaws and everything. So it's just the laws of the entity.
Oh, okay.
And everything's set up kind of differently. So like for me, I'll give you an example of my company. I am the CEO. I'm also the founder, which is not the same thing. But I'm also the founder, and I also control the majority of board seats. So basically, I can do anything I want to within reason. So there are rules, like I have to consider the shareholders, and I have to consider, there's an entire multi-100-page document that says this is how the business will be run. So I do have, responsibility, and I have to answer to people. Like shareholders have rights, right? Like they can request financials. There's limits to how much, of all this different stuff that I could do without board approval. And then it's kind of awkward. It's like, well, I can just have a board meeting and approve it. And that's true. But yeah, but the thing is, where's the balance in that? To get nerdy for like 2 seconds on business. The balance in that is they can sue me for anything that I do. You can sue anyone for anything.
Yeah.
So they could, if I did something like just sold the entire business to another company that I also owned for $1 and tried to like subvert ownership, then they could sue me for that and they would likely win. So the courts help balance this power to some degree.
And in Sam Altman's case, do we actually know what was the issue?
I don't know what the specific reason. There were a couple articles I read. One said something along the lines of he wasn't focused on his work, and instead he was raising money for a new AI startup and like using resources at OpenAI to help raise money for that new startup. Another one said him and one of the other founders got into an argument, and the other founder convinced the board to axe him and for some other type of reasoning. And then those are the 2 that I had read.
And I mean, it kind of makes sense though, because Altman he's a mind. He's a very smart guy, and he comes up with these ideas. And people like that, they'll work on their idea for a while. They'll bring it to fruition. They'll create this thing, and it's amazing. But then they get bored. And I think what they did was they put him in the CEO seat And do you think he just got bored with what he was doing? Like, okay, we did this thing. Now can we move on to the next?
Business is supposed to be boring. Like, you want consistency. When you go out to dinner, you go to a chain restaurant, you want that meal to be consistent regardless of what city you're in.
Yeah.
So by definition, these scaled up operations they're boring, right? They're consistent. They're boring. They're exact. They're identical.
And so for a genius like Altman, and like just a guy who's just, I bet his mind is just exploding with like new ideas. He gets in trouble with those people who want to keep the status quo and don't want the outlier of the CEO just like starting a new thing and like taking capital that they're supposed to be using for one thing and into a different thing.
Yeah, I mean, investors are typically pretty they're typically money people, and money people tend to lean towards, you know, organization and not lack of creativity. In my personal experience, they like everything to be very specific and clear and easy to understand in a numbers sense. And so to find out that the CEO is doing anything other than just making those numbers happen could get them frustrated and flustered. And I get it. I totally understand. Yeah, but he's definitely going like, if creative people and founders, they need to work on a variety of different things. Otherwise, they get bored. Like for me, running the production company is very boring. All it is doing what we do at my show, but for other people, and making sure that happens consistently. It's like payroll, finances, checking boxes, making sure things are delivered. We do the best we can culturally to like make sure creativity and good ideas rise to the top, which is like all you can do. But at the end of the day, they're handing us money for a specific 4 or 5 set of things. And we have to make sure that those things happen consistently and happen well. That's how OpenAI is, right? Your people are paying to use their engine, their GPT system, and they need it to be consistent and work well. So there's going to be creativity in like how you do those things. But when you have a 10 or 100,000 person organization, you're not solving the problems down at those levels, right? You're up at a way higher level. Like, I'm not in the producers thing trying to figure out how to make transcripts more efficient, right? I'm up trying to figure out problems at a different level because the people we have in those positions are really, really good at it, which is part of building the company. Boring.
I liked it. I liked it. That was fun. All right.
I kind of laugh when I'm buying an AR-15 because I'm like, why am I buying this? I can't hit a drone traveling at 200 miles an hour, right? And yeah, I would love to buy the laser weapons.